Welcome to the Swedish food tour. Now, we did this in several days. However, if you have a gut of steel like my husband and his brother, then more power to you. I recommend the very first thing that you do is walk out of your hotel and see what's around you. We found the cutest little bakery next door to us. We tried something called a Budapest. This one had blueberries. It's like a cakey thing with some cream. Oh, they're so good. And they come in multiple flavors. There was an orange one that I really wanted to try, but never had that opportunity. So I'm just gonna have to go back. Jeff loves pain au chocolat. And so he had to try one, not quite as good as Paris, but you know, we're not in Paris, we're in Sweden. So it was fantastic. Another thing that we like to do is go where the locals go. There's a darling little fisherman's row. Unfortunately, we were never there at the right time, so we just got to walk by and wonder about all the delicious food. And yet another reason to go back. One of the really awesome things about Sweden is everybody sits outside and eats. Even in the pouring rain, they sit outside. And the reason they can do this is they have the cutest little lap blankets that hang over the chairs. And then they have all these space heaters and they have these big canopies. I don't know why we don't have blankets like that in America. They are so cute. Jeff had this delicious pasta with tomato sauce, and I had sweet potato steaks along with whatever kind of meat steak I had. You are not going to want to skip breakfast in Sweden. I know, some of us don't eat much breakfast. I am one of those people. However, when you're in Sweden, you want to eat it because you can have vegetables and fruits. There's all kinds of breads. You can get homemade granola and homemade yogurts. There's homemade jams, cheeses, eggs. Just whatever you think you might want to eat, that's what there is for breakfast. So I highly recommend do not skip breakfast. You are going to want to eat it. Most of them are huge smorgasbord type, and you need to walk the entire length. We went to a place called Hollandia, and we were told by several people that this was their favorite bakery in all of Malmö, and it is easy to see why. Look at all this delicious food. Plus, how cute is their packaging? Don't you wish that everything came wrapped up in pretty bows and little pretty boxes? We got a pecan tart and some kind of raspberry delicious cake. It's probably a princess cake, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. One of my very favorite things in Sweden is their cinnamon bun. Their cinnamon buns are not sweet. They don't have the frosting. Sometimes they have a little bit of a syrup glaze, but they're just not as sweet as in America. And most of them have a spice called cardamom. And if you're not familiar with it, you're just going to have to try it. It's kind of hard to describe. For me, it tastes like Christmas and holidays because we use it in one of the cookies that we make at Christmas time. It looks kind of like pepper, but it's not spicy at all. It's just delicious. They use it a lot over there, so it's in a lot of their foods, and particularly in their cinnamon buns. You can get it without the cardamom, and there's also a bun called a cardamom bun. And we picked up my brother and sister-in-law, and before we headed out, we had to go back and get them a Budapest, and they were out of the cardamom rolls. So we got this cardamom apple crumble cheesecake, which was quite delicious, all wrapped up in a pretty little box. They really like crumbles out there, so it's not uncommon to see a crumble on top of a dessert. For lunch, we didn't have a lot of options while we were traveling across Sweden. The trifecta that we found, a McDonald's, a Burger King, and a Circle K, they're pretty much everywhere together when we were driving. We chose to go to McDonald's. I actually recommend that you go to something that you know from home just to see what's different there. For example, they have licorice shakes. I do not recommend the licorice shake other than to try it. I did not think that was very fabulous. However, the salad was wonderful. The hamburgers were decent. Sweden is very green. They have this really fantastic way of recycling things with very clear pictures. It probably took us about as long to dump all of our stuff because we were trying to match our discarded waste and our recyclables to the right area. Now, our dinner, American barbecue, it was pretty good, but I wish that we could have found some traditional food. It just happened to be the only thing open. But the really cool thing about eating here was we got to go up these cool stairs. We're actually sitting outside while we're eating. I told you they just love to be outside. So it's all decked up, got to enjoy this whole beautiful view all to ourselves. Is a place I would definitely recommend going. When you go in there, you need to look at all the delicious foods because seriously, everything in there, you just want to take it all home with you. Then look up really quick because the ceilings, they look like floor tiles, but they're just gorgeous. And then there's a little chandelier and they're so cute and quaint. So you're going to want to do that. If you really need a reason to celebrate, try and go on October 4th. That is Tunneln's Day, is literally translated the day of the cinnamon bun. and it is quite a holiday. It's estimated that 7 million buns are going to be enjoyed in one day. And of course, we had to help with some. Check out the size of this cinnamon bun. It does have cardamom in it, which was a fantastic surprise for me. We also recommend that you attend the market. Now, this one is like an open market. It's only open part of the day. But if you don't know what you want, this is the kind of place you want to go because they have literally everything. There's meats and cheeses, vegetables, sweets and treats, breads. You're going to be super impressed. We actually did not buy one single thing here because we thought we were coming back. For lunch, of course, the Swedish meatballs. I recommend that you find one of these little shacks. This one, he is famous for his potatoes. The shop owner was super sweet and very friendly. He told us what we should put on our things. So a couple of us got some sausages and some of us got the meatballs, the Swedish meatballs, which are very traditional, and then the lingonberry jam and his fabulous potatoes. You might notice one of them with the sausages has tartar sauce on it. That's normal. That's okay over there. Tartar sauce on your mashed potatoes, people. Go to Sweden and try it. So here's some more meatballs because you can never get enough of those. We did try a pizza. Their pizza is so light and fresh compared to ours. I didn't feel like it was greasy. This is chicken and potatoes with some vegetables and tzatziki sauce. And who doesn't love a good tzatziki sauce? Okay, another place that I highly recommend that you go, which is off the beaten path, is the grocery store. In Sweden, there's the ICA, there's the Goop, there's Willys. We went to a place called Biltema. It was more like a sports supply store, but we found a lot of food there as well. They are just fun to walk around. That's just all there is to it. It's interesting to see what kinds of things that they sell that we don't. One of the things I love about going to grocery stores is you can find things that are native to them. For example, we found these Christmas drinks and this Christmas cookie spice mix. And these are cardamom, which I'm really excited about because it's something I use a lot in baking. And it's so much cheaper there. Like a bottle of the cardamom here in America is like $12, $13. But, you know, there, this whole thing was less than $3. Garam masala is something that I use a lot. And then we found these cute little wrappers and some sugar to make their cinnamon rolls, which I'm really excited about. And my husband was really excited about a giant tube of lingonberry jelly. I feel like this was a little bit messy. It made it home, but you can see, glad we had a bag. It leaked just a little bit, but that's okay because, you know, we have a tube of lingonberry jam. One other thing I really love to get when we're out traveling is cocoa because they all taste so different. And generally it's a lot cheaper. So might as well hit up a grocery store. Vanilla is also a really good thing to buy. And it's so much cheaper, right? You can get some bread, you can get some cinnamon rolls. And of course, you know, why not get a tube of spicy tuna? It's worth a try. We love getting candy. The banana skids were pretty good, really like Kicks. Brother-in-law, he bought these little tart pie looking things. He said they were quite good. Let me tell you about these cakes. The green one is the traditional one, and it's called a princess cake. The Swedish princess cake, or princess tarta, it is estimated that about 70% of all cakes that are sold from Swedish pastry shops are actually a princess cake of some kind. And actually, if you're getting really technical, each color has a different name. So the orange means one thing, but the green is the traditional, and usually about 500,000 are sold each year. And if you love this cake, then you want to visit in September because there's an entire week. The last week of September is dedicated to indulging in the princess cake. In the 1930s, there was a home economics teacher of 3 Swedish princesses, and she published her cookbook. And this was apparently one of their favorite cakes, and she called it the green cake, I think, but the public renamed it the princess cake, and it just stuck. So the originals, again, the green ones, they don't have jam. However, now there's just so many variations. In fact, there are the mix between a princess cake and a Swedish semla, which is a marzipan cream bun that's eaten on Pancake Day. Who doesn't love that they have so many celebrations of food out there? We went to a dollar store and tried some of their ice cream. The dark one is a licorice ice cream and the other one is a dam ice cream. We stopped in this cute teeny weeny town because it was time for a fika, and there's a whole video on what a fika is. Got another Budapest, got a soda, and because it was Cannabella Day, Mike got a Cannabella. Where we parked, there was this cute little donut churro shop called Neil's Churros and Donuts. And my brother-in-law said we had two options and we took them both. A couple of us, meaning the boys, they got a couple of donuts. Another place I would recommend going is the IKEA. It's kind of fun just to walk around. It is a little different than the ones in America. The feta o salad, which is a salad with feta on it, I highly recommend that. It was delicious. Swedish meatballs, also delicious. And then we bought this dessert called a Hårdskörburguskaka. Yes, all Sweden people, I'm really sorry. I just butchered that. We'll just put it right down here below so you can see it. This one's really pretty and it looks like it would taste great. The flavor was good. However, those of you who grew up in the 90s may remember the chapstick that you would put on your lips and you would wind up eating it because it tasted so good. That's pretty much what this dessert reminded me of. If you're going to put yourself on a self-guided food tour, you just need to walk up and down the streets anywhere that you're at. We found this place with this reindeer server and felt like that would be an excellent place. It also had reindeer, which some of us wanted to try. Seafood is another really popular dish out here. It wasn't my favorite place that we ate. My husband says that I overcooked the hamburger, and so that's my own fault. But I like a well-done hamburger, and apparently you can't do that to all meat. So now I know. I did, however, find this darling little bubble waffle cone, which was amazing. And they make the little bubble waffles there for you and then put all your toppings and deliciousness. Look at these cute little cardboard cones cup thingies that they give us. Another thing the Swedish love is tacos. Their tacos are different than ours. The meats are not generally ground like ours. It's more of like a pulled pork type of style, but it was quite delicious. I highly recommend you hang out at the taco joint. Whatever smells good or looks good, you should probably try it. And if you take a group, that's even better because you can share it with everybody. See this open window with the waffles? I don't have any idea how old those waffles are. And I don't know that this was a particularly great selling point because every time I walked by, all I could think of was those waffles are so old and literally anybody could touch them anytime they wanted. That window never closed. So I'm sure at some point it does, but never did when we were there. I'm sure the waffles were delicious inside, but we never made it in there. Every time we passed this little green ball, my husband wanted one. I think he thought it was pistachio. Inside of it, it's more like an oatmeal cake pop, for lack of a better description. It's kind of that texture. You said it was really good. I thought it was okay. They really do like oatmeal, and here in a minute, you're going to see another one. When you're going into places, be sure to look up and look around because the decorations are just beautiful. This is the other princess cake, and this is what you'll generally see. There's the big round full cakes, and then there's also these little princess torta minis that you can eat all by yourself. Sometimes they are actually full little cakes, and sometimes they're slices like that. And then the chocolate ball in the back there, that is an oatmeal ball that is rolled and then dipped in coconut. So it rolled in chocolate and dipped in coconut. Okay, you had to know this was coming. The best cinnamon cardamom bun is this one right here. Those big chunks that look like pepper are large chunks of cardamom, and then inside there's more. Road and salt is where that is at, and you're just going to want to go get one and then send one home. I know that it is crazy to go eat burgers in another country because we have them in America. They also had regular burgers there. I think it's worth trying. The meat is different in everywhere that you go, and my sister-in-law loves some hamburgers and french fries. So if you have a hankering and it smells good, I say stop. Now, if you have your own car or have the ability to get to a grocery store or a store like this, Biltema, you have to go. They have the coolest stuff. So this is called a smorgastarta, which is literally a sandwich cake. We saw people in a grocery store making one, and it was gorgeous. It looked like a round cake that then you cut into slices like cake. It has eggs, sometimes there's shrimp, vegetables, it has dill. They just look beautiful. Definitely worth looking at and probably worth eating. We didn't get any. I'll show you what we got here in a second. Check this out. Those little like milking machines are ketchup and mustard. And then if you look next to it, that is a fast smash. It has mashed potatoes. So it's like a vending machine for mashed potatoes. Another place to go that you might not expect is a gas station. They have cute little sweets sitting right up by the cash register. For example, my husband is holding this yummy looking roll coconut something. And that was just sitting next to the cash register. So he bought one. Of course, you can also get your sodas. That is it for our food tour. Really, in general, if it looks good or it smells good, I would recommend you eat it in Sweden.